Welcome to the Heroine Show. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic, the power of saying no, reclaiming your time and energy. My name is Adejisola Atiba, Lady Abba. I will be hosting the show. And with me in the studio are these amazing women and heroines. So why don't you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Deborah Wright. I am professionally a life coach and a forgiveness facilitator. I am the CEO of LE Media and also my not-for-profit, which is Upward Springs. And I love helping women understand the power of forgiveness.
And hi everyone, my name is Mokshi Virk. I am an Indo-Canadian, settled in Canada, came as an immigrant almost 20 years back. And by profession, I'm a real estate broker. With my passion, I have a non-profit organization. I am a founder director of Indo-Canadian Association, where we help newcomers, women entrepreneurs, small business owners, and youth. It's always a pleasure meeting and connecting with like-minded people. So here I am.
Awesome. Hi everyone, welcome to the Heroine Show. And my name is Reverend Blessing Ajayi. I'm the Executive Director of Glorious Women of Wonders, Black Community Canada Television. I'm the executive producer of Brampton Rising Stars. So I have 4 children, married, and by the grace of God, I'm also a minister of God. Thank you.
Awesome. So you've met the amazing heroines and panelists that's going to discuss about this very interesting topic. So before I go into it, I do want to hear from every one of you. When you hear the power of saying no, reclaiming your time and energy, what comes to mind? Deborah, why don't I start with you?
The power of no is very important because when I look at my own life and my time and the times when I wasn't able to say no, I found that I became very weary, because it was like I was running around doing things for everybody else and not recognizing that I needed to reclaim my time so that I could be good for me. A lot of times we take on all these different jobs and we take on all these different things that everybody else wants you to do, and we don't stop to think about ourselves. And saying no is something that is very important for our peace of mind.
Well said, Deborah. Weary, eh? Yeah, you can say yes to everything, right? Thank you so much for sharing. Mokshi?
Yes, my dear. So saying no, as Deborah said, very well said actually, it protects our well-being, our mental health, our physical health. It doesn't mean that we are unfriendly or we are not supporting other person. It's just that we are giving priority to self-love, to our own well-being. So that is so important because you have one life to live and you definitely want to have a peace with your life and move on, and do the things that are important to you.
Well said. Thank you. Self-love. Protect our well-being. Love that. Reverend Blessing, please add to the conversation.
Well, thank you so much. I think this is a very interesting topic for everyone. As we know, we always say yes, just to inconvenience ourselves and please other people. But I say that I think the power of saying no helps you to be able to recover yourself and give yourself a break, to be able to reconnect and rethink. Though unfortunately these days, people don't like you when you say no. When you say no is when it's like you triggers. So saying no is an important thing for me. For the past years now, I learned to prioritize on saying no. I have created a lot of things because I have enough time to myself, my mental health, my rest, and myself.
Fantastic. You said inconveniences sells when we don't say no. And you also said, it enables us to reconnect and rethink. And you're all very, very, on point. And I'm hopeful that viewers are listening to this, because you can't be in 10 places at the same time. And you got to take care of your mental health for you to be even valuable to anybody else. So when I think about the power of saying no and reclaiming your time and energy, I think about, setting boundaries, right? I think about you overcoming the guilt, when people decide to throw some tantrums just because you're saying no, you need to be able to overcome that guilt. And, to what you said, I did put personalized personal growth. We always say that it's the value you have within that you can give somebody out there. And, not saying yes to everything protects your time, it protects our energy, our mental health, like you all said. So really, really important to take it away. Saying no is super important. It doesn't mean you don't respect them. It just means, not now, maybe later. And so, let's continue talking about the topic. I want us to, you've said certain things, you talk about weary, you talk about protecting ourselves, our well-being, rethink, reconnect. I do want us to kind of peel back the onion a little bit more. So let's say you're talking to your younger self, Deborah. What would you tell her when it comes to staying on point and not being weary?
For me, I remember the times when I didn't say no. I would try to be everything to everybody. I was a wife, I was a mother of young children, but during that time, I was also a person that did events. And I didn't understand the whole event market where, I didn't have to say yes to all the events that I was taking on. And mind you, a lot of these events were not paid because it was within the church and it wasn't paid. And at the end of the day, I didn't feel fulfilled. Yes, I did a couple weddings and they were beautiful and everybody was saying, "Oh, this is so beautiful." But what it did to me was my body, I was bruised and battered. And then I was leaving my home undone, which caused problems with my spouse, because it's like I'm prioritizing everybody else and my family went undone. So that's some of the things that, like having to deal with that, because I would say to that younger person, I would say like, "Dad, what's the matter with you, girl? You need to take it easy. You've got 3 young children, You got a man who's complaining. Like, come on now, right?"
Oh,
and so when I think about my younger self and I think about now, I take things that I want to do. And I'm able to say, "No, I'm sorry, I can't do that." And it helps. But my younger self, I went through it because I didn't know how to say no and not feel guilty. People pleaser.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
What I took from what you said you kind of left your family behind, right? So, and whether we like it or not, they're the most important people in your life, but you're leaving them behind because you want to please others. And at the end of the day, you don't know whether you actually please them or not, right? Yeah. But thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing. That was really very impactful. Mokshi.
Yes, my dear.
So what would you tell your younger self when it comes to reclaiming your time and energy?
Very apt question, but you know what, when we are young, we are thinking different. We want to do all the things at the same time, but when you mature, you see things that that you actually want to have a balanced life, where you are trying to balance between your career, between your family life, your spouse, and there's so many things that we try to balance. But when I look back now, if as per her question, that yes, when we are young, if we channelize ourselves, our energies to something that is important for us, which can really enhance our career, our family, and everything, that time we sometimes waste, or maybe, as we said, pleasing other people and not really thinking about ourselves, our career, our life, it stresses you. So it's very good if we can channelize our energies to our family, our career, and have a wonderful life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Reverend Blessing.
yeah, it's very important. Like I said, this topic. My younger self, yeah, I always want to have the ability, the grace to say no, because when you don't say no, people take you. When you don't say no, people take you for granted.
Yes.
Whether you are young, you're old, like anytime you not say yes, anytime you say no, it's like you are the problem. So my younger self, I would say, you know what? Let me help. If I can help, why not? I will help, and I keep doing. And I keep doing, and people forget that I too need that rest. I too need that care. I too need that concern. I need that shoulder. They forget. But now, I will say, you know what? You wait. When I'm done, I'll come to you. You know why? Because I realize that if I don't become what I should, nobody come for anything that is not good. Okay? So when you have to say no, please say no. Anybody that loves you will love you either. Right? So I encourage that no. My younger self, if I have to be my younger self again, I will say no 10 times. Yes. Not in hurting anybody, but in me being able to focus and be able to be more productive, more proactive, and more effective.
Yeah, everything that you've all said really kind of resonates with me, because that's basically what I put down myself. We all know that everyone tends to struggle with saying no for one reason or the other, whether it's fear of disappointing others, or and when we don't disappoint others, we burn out one way or the other. And then the goal really is, how can we reclaim that time back? How can we reclaim that energy back? So I really love what you are all saying, but I want you to give me like one or two ideas on, why do you feel that saying no feels difficult, and we feel that impact of guilt? Because we need to be able to kind of put some things to it, so that people listening to us will be able to take one or two things away. Why does it feel difficult? Reverend Blessing, why don't I start with you? Why do we feel it's difficult to say no, and why do we feel that guilt?
Okay, I think people that felt that way, not everybody had that compassionate heart. I think people that you actually share the love, like the Bible say, love your neighbor as yourself. So you're saying that if I can do this for this person, why not? And saying yes costs you a lot. Trust me. It's obedient and sacrifice, because you saying yes, you're obeying. And finding every possible means to get that solution for you. And you, I may not even gain anything. My gain is that my conscience tells me that you've done it. Right? Yeah. So because of the effect, that it built on the person that say yes, and that's why if those people that doesn't have compassion, easily they can say no. I don't even care whether it's something that will save your life or nothing. I'm so sorry to use that word, but that's it. But if you always feel empathy, like I don't want to say no, that means you have a conscience. You have a feeling as a woman, right? Yeah, so that's why. But because of the repercussion, the effect sometimes that is very negative, very humiliating, sometimes you will like say, if it's possible, you wouldn't say yes. But if you have that compassionate heart, either way, even if they hurt you, even if you're broken, you still say that. Yes. But now, I think also it comes through maturity. I think we are now matured. I am now more matured to look at things. And I said, I've done a lot of yes. Can I just find a no? So that at least let me sleep and rest. Sometimes, let me be able to meditate. Or let me even see who value and appreciate my yes. Right? We are that age now. I will say that once you are over 50, you wanted to test that. I've been saying yes. Who really say yes to me if I don't say yes? You get that?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mokshi, what do you think?
So
Why is it so difficult?
Yeah, and you know what, honestly, it's hard because you sometimes feel that the person who is asking for a favor definitely maybe need help. Genuinely they need help. And you put yourself in their shoes, thinking that if you needed that help, you would definitely look to your friends, neighbors, and people who you really look forward to. But again, coming back to you are compromising your family, you're compromising your work time if you're just saying yes every time. So to get that peace of mind, that stability in your life, sometimes you have to say no. And I personally feel that you don't have to be rude. You have to be kind to the person. Be nice. Tell them your inability to help at this point. You're not saying for the future thing, but it's just talking about now, that for this particular time I'm not available. I'm afraid I can't help you this time. I can't fit in my schedule this time. I have some other prior commitment. So just be nice, very straightforward. I think that is very important. You don't have to beat around the bush. You have to be very straightforward. Tell them that you're busy, you're not available, you can't fit in your schedule, and be kind.
Yeah.
That's what I personally feel.
Thank you, Mokshi. Deborah?
So can you just repeat that question? Because I know we've gone around the table.
Yes,
so
right?
Just repeat that question, please.
Why do we feel guilt when we say no?
Okay. I think when we say no, it feels emotional. Like, it's like, oh man, I am saying no to maybe my friend. Or I'm saying no to my kids. I have grown kids, right? And sometimes I say no, and then I feel bad because I'm mom, right? They're grown, they've got their own families, but because it's my children, when I say no, I feel guilty, like I should be doing something, the thing that they ask me. Now, my kids don't ask me to babysit a lot. So whenever they ask me, most of the times I will definitely say yes. But sometimes that's not reciprocated, okay? It's
They're
not
lucky.
Reciprocated. I know. But I love the grandkids, right? But saying no sometimes feels kind of bad when you say no. That's for me. Because I'm the person that always wants to help. So that when I say no, I feel like I'm making them feel bad. And yeah, so I don't like doing that. But I have learned how to do it.
And it's all about learning how to do it, not overstretching yourself. So for me, some of the things I put down is, one, we fear disapproval when we say no, right? And two, cultural and social conditioning. Because culturally, we want to help everybody. But can we really help everybody? And I would dare say religion too. Because even the Bible says, if you can help somebody today, why leave it till tomorrow, right? So if we can help them, you want to help everybody. We're not saying don't help. We're not saying don't say yes, but we're saying don't overdo the yes so that you can take care of yourself. Another thing is over-identification with helpfulness. We feel we want to be helpful. We don't want people to feel disappointed. They know it's in our power. And that's why, why we have all these organizations, so that we can move that yes to somebody else to take care of. And guilt of prior expectation, because you've always done it. We've always said yes. And of course, FOMO, fear of missing out. If you don't say yes, they invite you to 10 events at the same time, and maybe we need to start cloning ourselves these days so that we can say yes to that. So I really feel it's important to learn when to say the N-O word. It's not saying I'm not going to help you. It's saying I will help you, but not now. And you mentioned something that I actually want us to quickly, spend maybe 30 seconds each so that we can go on our break. You mentioned something. You said maybe it's because I'm matured now. That's why you're able to say yes. Does everybody needs to be in their 50s to be able to say yes? Say no, rather?
Yeah, that's why we're on this table now, right? That's why we're on this table. Yeah, one thing I want to let the viewers know is that we are not talking of we are not encouraging saying no when you know you're saving life. When you know it's something that is very, very important for you to sacrifice your time of saying yes, right? That's not what we are talking. Yes is good when it's needed. Okay, when it's overwhelming and you cannot go and you check everything around you, it's not convenient, please say no. That's what we are saying. So when talking about being matured, yes, maturity can teach you a lot of things. What I mean maturity is that some friends, some people, I'm so sorry to say this, is that they are just using you because you always say yes. And anytime you say no, you're a problem. It's like they never want to hear no. Why don't you want to hear no? If I ask you something and you tell me no, just tell me reason why. I will understand. All right? We all need to know that. So maturity helps you to be able to reason, redefine any situation that will lead you to say yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Deborah, I'll move to you. We're not saying say no to everything, but how can we help our younger self to be able to know when it's time to say no? They don't need to be 50 before they say no, right?
Actually, you don't need to be matured to say no. You have to look at your circumstances. Where are you standing right now? What is the situation of your life, your environment? Maybe you might be in church, but you're a mother of small children. How can you say yes to being a Sunday school teacher, at the same time you're helping in the kitchen, or you're doing this, you're doing that? Because these are things that I have seen myself. When I speak from experience, because I've seen it. You've got two or three young children, but they want you to be in this department and in that department and the other department, and you burn out. So you have to be able to say, I am sorry, I can't do that. Because I don't have the capacity, and don't feel guilty. Don't let anyone guilt you. I'm sorry, I've been there, so I'm telling you what I know. So don't allow people to guilt you into saying yes to anything. I am sorry, at this time I cannot.
Okay, thank you so much, Deborah. Mokshi, just in 30 seconds, what would you advise our young viewers to do, especially when they're beginning to experience burnout?
Yes, and you know what, honestly, I would refer to, if you have taken a flight, sometimes you see that what the air hostess will tell you, that you have to save yourself first before helping the other person. So the reason I'm referring to that is that you need to have your own glass full before you start helping others. This is so important. If you are empty, if you are already burned out, if you are already stressed out, how can you help other person? So it's very important that you prioritize your responsibilities, your work, your family. That's the priority. So once you are having an extra time, then you can obviously go back and help others. So it's very important for your own well-being to reduce your stress, that you say no if you can't help. But again, as I always mention, that has to be in a kind way. You don't have to be rude saying no, but tell them that your schedule doesn't fit in any new commitment. So you don't want to really overcommit yourself. You want to take care of your well-being first. That's the first priority.
Absolutely. It's what you have that you can give, right?
Yes.
So viewers, we're just going to go off for a few minutes break right now, but we want you to remember that the importance of this topic is how you can reclaim your time and energy and not burn out because you're prioritizing other people above yourself. See you later. Welcome back to the Heroine Show. We're still on the topic of the power of saying no, reclaiming your time and energy. And so, to the question I have for my heroines today is, what moments has happened since the beginning of this year, that you've had to prioritize yourself and kind of debate, struggle about whether to say yes or no. So Deborah, why don't you start us off?
So one of the things that I had to say no to was going to a couple of events because I was in the process of moving. Now, mind you, I wanted to go to some of those events because I moved from the countryside back to the city so that I could be, in town so I can go to stuff, right? And here I was in the city and I couldn't. But it was okay because I had priorities. I had pre-arranged events. So I had to that girl, next time. That was it.
I love it. I had priorities. That's really good. You need to decide what's more important. Mokshi, what about you? Heroine Mokshi.
Yes. So, as I was just mentioning, I was just talking to Reverend Blessing also. We live in Canada and it's extremely cold weathers when we are in January, February. I wasn't feeling well and I had invited to different events, whether it was meeting or a community event, but my health was not well. So there's no point going out and just disturbing your peace of mind. So that's the conscious decision I made, that I would rather stay back, take care of my health, because I started with the same thing, that self-care, self-love is equally important. Because if you are not feeling good, how will you help the community? This is so important. So we as leaders, community leaders, we have to maintain that work-life balance where we are giving priority to our health, our life, and our careers before we really step out and help others. So that was the time I had to make that conscious decision that I won't be able to attend that. And I apologize for not attending the event just because I wasn't well. I would not be able to contribute.
And I like what you said, conscious effort, because you have to be conscious about it. It's not something you can just do and move on. And whether you like it or not, people don't like sick people around them. So
yes, for sure. And you know what? That's right. You don't want to be around people when you're coughing or you're not feeling well, your body aches. So you don't want to be there. You would rather be in your cozy bed enjoying your cup of tea and having a good time recovering from your...
Absolutely. Reverend Blessing, what about you? What has been your experience? What have been those moments this year that you've had to decide yay or nay?
Always this time, like I said, come with maturity. Being a community leader, advocates, you are called to do one thing or the other. Of course, we always make chance. Though for me, prioritizing has never been my problem when it comes to family, because I make sure I put my family in order before I can go all day. That's why we're able to stay in the race for this long, But yesterday, last weekend, just this weekend, I was faced with that challenge. Friday was so busy. We came back very late, and there is this very important event. I wish I was able to make it, but unfortunately, my body feel like relaxing. I was on my bed throughout. In fact, I did not come out of my room until around 6, 7 o'clock. And I felt good because I knew giving myself that rest will help me to get up today. And throughout today, we're going to be busy, right? It's all about me. My health is very important. So I was able to figure it out. I said, for this one, there will always be this event. So why am I stressing?
Absolutely. I remember when I came to Canada, every time is that garage sale or closing down sale or something sale. When I was new, I would tell my husband, we need to go. He said, don't worry, the sale never ends. They just changed the name. But thank you so much. That's, very, very priceless,
Yeah.
self-care, making sure your health is priority, and making sure that you focus on what's really important as opposed to just being everywhere. And so I want to ask a different question now. If you're going to advise practical advice that you want to give people, irrespective of maturity, because our young people need to know how to say no too, right? If you want to give practical advice to anyone, whether, whatever stage they are in their life, what would that be? Maybe one or two things. Mukshi, why don't I start with you?
I think what I would say that sometimes you really genuinely want to help. You have that time and energy to help, but you don't have that skill set or experience to help. That can be another challenge. You just don't want to say yes because somebody has asked you for that help or favor, but if you don't have that required skill set or experience, then you won't be able to do justice. You won't be able to help them. So that is also very important. So my practical advice to our young audience would be that make sure you have that experience and skill set and knowledge before saying yes.
And if you don't have it, get somebody that do.
Exactly.
Right?
Refer it to someone else.
Absolutely.
I think that is more important because, again, you're not messing up somebody's work because you don't have that required
And you're not wasting
knowledge
time
and experience.
too.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you're wasting your time, energy. So you don't want to do that. So
Absolutely.
I think this is one of the practical advice to our younger audience.
Heroine.
See, I want to put something for our viewers to understand. We are all women, we've grown, we are mature now in the race. So I want to say to young women out there, everybody want to be there, you want to be in the community, you want to do this, you want to do that. Come on. If you're still having young children, you have husband, you need to pay attention to your home also. You can multitask, but make sure that your house is intact. I remember in my young age, before I go out to the community, I must have cooked everything full in the house, everything they need. I can stay and go back late home, and there's no problem.
Okay, so Heroine Blessing, this day and age, there's something called Uber.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me tell you one thing. And then if I have to go out, immediately I come back from that outing straight to the kitchen. But everybody need to understand how their family works. That's why some people has problem because the house is empty. You want to go here, you want to follow here, you come back. Please take it easy. So now we say maturity. You can now put 1 + 1 together, and they know, okay, you know what? I have to rest myself. I have to make sure I do that before I do that. You're not trying to validate yourself, okay? We are not doing competition. You are not doing competition. Take life easy. Okay?
So whether you're cooking or you're ordering takeout, make sure everything is taken care of.
Okay.
Take care of your family. How about you, Deborah?
I'm just going to give them some practical tools. And one of the things I would say is be able to prioritize yourself. Before you say yes, you have to make sure that you ask yourself, is this aligned with my purpose? Right? Is this aligned with my values or my goals? Because we're trying to be practical now, right? Because you can't say yes to everything. Make sure it's aligning. If it is not, then it's okay to say no, right? We need to get to the place where we're protecting our peace.
That's very
Your
important.
peace is so important. You protect your peace and say yes to things that will bring you joy. Say yes to things that will bring you rest and will help your growth. Because sometimes we go running about and doing all these different things. It isn't doing anything for us. It's helping other people get what they want. But what about you? What do you need at this time? So it's okay. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to say yes when it it brings good to you.
I love that. And just to add a few points on my own, I did put down priorities. Learn to, understand your priorities. Very, very important. Learn to communicate clearly. Yes. Because when you're saying no, well, out of respect, because Heroine Mukshi, you mentioned it, don't just, do it out of respect. Or was it Heroine Reverend Blessing that said it? Yeah, but one of us did mention respect. Don't just say no for the heck of it, but be respectful. Set realistic limits, right?
Can I say
it's
something?
So important. Yeah.
Sometimes, I, of course, everyone know I'm not rude. Just being sincere right now. Sometimes when you say, whether you say it carefully or harshly, it will still offend somebody, right?
Absolutely.
But the most important thing, that's why I say maturity. Some people, I had a counter one time that because I said wait, it now become as if nobody's Lord. Anybody can tell you wait. You have to wait. Mm-hmm. If you want to be productive, proactive, effective in what you do, trust me, you must take that very, very seriously. Yeah. Some people has to wait. No. All right? Mm-hmm. So who takes no is who love you and want you to grow. Anybody that doesn't want to hear no, you will like, okay, how can you tell me no? Because I forget it.
Well, again,
sometimes it come like that, right?
Absolutely. And
but it's good to be nice.
But you know how you've said it. So it's now their prerogative to take it how they see it. Mm-hmm. So why don't we talk about the heroine of the week? Right? Isn't that an amazing time? It's an amazing time to talk about heroine of the week. So there's this young, amazing woman. She's actually an entrepreneur of impact. Her name is Olaito Onyebuoha.
Wow.
She's an amazing woman. She actually won the Women of Inspiration Award in 2023. She won the Women of Inspiration Award. She's actually going in for the Entrepreneur of Impact Award. She's a serial entrepreneur. She's young, she's dynamic, she's somebody you can tap on the shoulder and say, do something for me, and she would do it. She got the 100 ABC Women in 2024. She got the Aaron Thornhill Power of Inclusion Award in 2024. She won Top 100 Canadian Black Women to Watch in 2023. She's into insurance. She's committed to driving innovation and delivering impactful solutions. And she's young.
Wow.
And she's doing all of these things. And, you can look her up on LinkedIn. Olaito Onyebuoha. The last name is Onyebuoha. She's an amazing
shout out
woman.
for her.
Shout out to you, Olaito. We appreciate you.
We appreciate your work.
Keep it up, okay?
Yes.
When we say thank you, what does that mean? It means do more. Do more, but thank you for what you're doing.
And help more women out there.
And help more women out there. You're super right. You're super right. So keep it up. And she's also an immigration specialist. So for people, now I'm advertising for you. You need to come here and pay us. If you're looking for immigration, or trying to bring your children to school in Canada, she can help. Now, I want us to wrap it up. So we've talked about the power of saying no and, saving your energy and time. We've talked about practical moments. We've talked about critical moments. We've given advice. In 30 seconds, what would you want somebody to take away? So, Heroine Blessing, why don't you start us off?
Okay, thank you so much. I would say that you don't need to stress yourself. Be yourself. Save yourself from tension, anxiety, and say no when you can. Say yes when it's possible. Okay? No validation, no competition. Be yourself all the time. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of anybody. It is your right to say no.
It is your right to say no. You've heard it. Heroine Mukshi.
Yeah, I think saying no builds confidence. I think when you have that confidence, then only you can say no. So it's very empowering You build that respect because now you know that you have boundaries. You set your own boundaries, and obviously prioritize yourself. Self-care, self-love, very important. And I think, again, be nice, be kind, be respectful when you're saying no.
I think you saw my notes. Deborah, what about you?
So what I would say is, when saying no, use kind words, but firm response. Kind words, but firm response. Saying no doesn't have to be harsh. So we can try phrases like, I appreciate the invite, but I'll have to decline this time. Or, I can't commit right now, but I appreciate the invite. So what you're doing is, you're letting them down gently, right? Let me think about it, and I'll get back to you. So I've just given you some practical tools that you can use and some words that you can use as well.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Absolutely. So I'm just going to wrap it up. So from me to you, and with everything that all the heroines have said, when you say no, you're preserving your energy. We already talked about that. You're empowering yourself because you're setting boundaries. And you need to learn to reduce the guilt and fear because it's not for you to carry. If you could do it, you would do it. And of course, it fosters your personal growth because by prioritizing your goals and overextended liabilities, you're able to take care of yourself. Remember, saying no is not about rejection. It's about honoring your values and authenticity. Now, we do have a catchphrase when we want to hand. So, you guys ready?
Don't forget to embrace the heroine and hero in you.
See you next time.
See you next
Thank
time.
you.
Great job, girls.